Pisces, welcome to your weekly tarot reading for May the 30th to June the 5th. Okay, let's get started for you, Pisces, and see what messages we have for your week ahead. Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What are the messages for Pisces? Let's see. Oh, what's that? Eight of Swords. The Moon. Oh my goodness, Pisces. What are you feeling right now? What are you thinking about? Oh, Nine of Swords, High Priestess, and the Five of Swords. You got an extra card. Okay. Okay, Pisces. And the Page of Cups in reverse is on the bottom of the deck. Okay, so what is happening here for you this week? It sort of feels like there's a lot of unseen energy here, okay, with this Moon card, and it almost feels like you're already anticipating some outcome that you're a little freaked out about, to be honest. Like there's an outcome here, Pisces, that you're sort of worried about. You're maybe even a little fearful of this outcome coming into fruition. I think you're sensing a lot of things right now that haven't happened yet, but you can feel it. You can feel it, can't you? And it's leaving you feeling a little unsettled, to say the least. That Nine of Swords in reverse, I can't help but wonder if you're feeling like this is going to be sort of a situation that's going to cause some inner turmoil. You may be having sort of a moment where your self-esteem is low, and you might be feeling like there's a healing journey that needs to happen. You're deeply anchored in fear. Okay, you're deeply anchored in fearing something happening. You're like, this is going to happen, and I'm afraid of it happening. I don't want this to happen. It sort of feels like it's going to involve a conversation as well. A conversation where no one's going to win. There is no winner here. This is going to be a conversation where there could be something that comes to an end, and that might be the thing you're fearing. And right now, it could be that you're really sensitive about this, like you can feel it. You might be missing some signs about what's going to happen because you're overly fearful. And when we're focused so much so on sort of fearing the outcome of something, that becomes all we can focus on. And so right now, it feels like you're being guided to try to step away from that fear a bit here and tapping into your other senses to help guide you. When I see that High Priestess there, I can't help but wonder if there is sort of a more introspective, intuitive approach that you could take to reduce the fear so that you're feeling more guided and supported instead of fearful. And so sort of diving inside the inner world to unpack, why am I so afraid of this consequence or this outcome? Why am I fearing something here instead of sort of moving through fear? A dear friend of mine who is quite an insightful medium once said to me, Marie, when the murderer shows up, don't hide. He said it more eloquently than this, but don't hide from him, but fall into the sword, trusting that somehow this is going to bring you to a place that you need to be. Don't fear it, fall into it, you know? I sort of just butchered his words. He said it more eloquently than that, but I think, how did he put it? When the murderer knocks on the door, fall into the blade. I think that's how he used to put it. Instead of fearing that murderer, you know. I hope that makes sense. But, you know, instead of fearing outcomes, surrender to them. that is the guidance here for you. Instead of fearing this outcome, surrender to it. Let it happen. Trust that somehow it is for your greater good. It will serve you. Even though you're a little freaked out about this happening, there's the Eight of Wands in reverse. Yeah, this is like a truth bomb. This is almost like a tower moment that you're afraid of. Eight of Pentacles in reverse. You're delaying it. You're procrastinating. You don't want to face it. Seven of Wands in reverse as well. You could be... Oh, look at that. Knight of Cups. Look at that. Isn't that the truth, though? Whenever something is fear-based, how can we turn it around? With love. With love and sort of openness. You are freaking out about something that I think could be solved, quote unquote. I don't know if solved is the right word, but like this situation needs love, not fear. This situation needs love. And there could be a way for you to feel more understood and more prepared. Right now, I feel like you're defensive because you're afraid. You're working in a fear mode. You know what I mean? And when you're in fear mode, what do? You defend yourself. You look over your shoulder. You may even be a little overly suspicious of people right now because you're afraid of something happening. You're afraid of an outcome coming to pass. And you're worried about what that's going to look like. So it's interesting. You need to sort of almost, from this reading anyway, it seems like you're being guided to just going with it, taking that scary plunge. Don't take a shortcut. Don't give up. Don't run and hide from the murderer. Again, that phrase, when the murderer knocks, fall into the blade. Trust that the universe has sent this your way for a reason, Pisces. And you're the moon card is your card. You're very intuitive anyway, Pisces. You pick up on things. You're very sensitive. You're very intuitive naturally. And so whatever it is that you're fearing, you almost need to greet it with love, which is why the Knight of Cups is here. Greet the murderer with love and fall into the blade, trusting that there's nothing to fear, that it's all an illusion anyway. So there's nothing to fear. This is fascinating. I love this reading, actually. This is very interesting because it's really bringing up a theme that I think is relevant for a lot of us to consider right now. Even as I'm talking, I'm sort of running through my mind to see, well, are you afraid of anything? I've got placements in Pisces as well. So it's very interesting, my friends. Now, the other thing I sort of want to highlight is that you got the Three of Wands on the bottom of the deck, and it's also in reverse. So that sort of makes me wonder, is this fear that you have could actually be blocking something to come in the future. This is very interesting. You really need to just let whatever it is that you're afraid of, let it happen, because it's going to lead to something. It's almost like it's going to be a catalyst for something to take form in the future. And that it is like intuitively something that, even though you're sort of having a fear reaction to it, I wonder if intuitively you sort of know that this is going to have a big impact. And maybe that's why you're feeling the fear, because you're fearing that impact, maybe assuming that it's not going to have any good for you in it. But this Knight of Cups, I can't help but feel like you need to welcome whatever it is that you're afraid of and give it love and welcome it, because it's going to be transformative. And I'm going to leave it there. That's wild. I love this reading for you. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me today for this reading. If it's resonated for you, please consider subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing. Leave me a little comment. Let me know how it relates to what you're experiencing right now. And I'm sending you so much love and light, Pisces. Wishing you the best week and hoping to see you again for another reading. Okay, my friends, take care.